Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Surviving UX podcast. I am Meg Kramer, and I am joined by my co-host, Jessamine Edwards. If you are like us and you know one day in the far distant future, you will have a project file where all your layers and pages are perfectly named, you are in the right place. And until we get to that mystical land, Jessamine and I are here to survive the UX career with you. Jessamine, what is your latest?
Hey Meg, how's it going? Um, I have had a day
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a week really, but I am doing okay. I am surviving, I'll put it that way. Um, this I started thinking about swag.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a call this week and I saw one of my coworkers wearing swag from their last job. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, oh my gosh, I do that too. I don't even think about it, but I roll up into meetings sometimes with my old log me in sweatshirt on. And this person had, another company's sweatshirt on. And I thought,
Mm-hmm.
I love good swag, and my love for the swag will outlive the job. And what's like the best piece of swag that you have in your closet right now?
Well, I don't know if I can answer that, but I can tell you the piece of swag I'm wearing right now, which is a hoodie from my husband's company, not even my own.
Okay,
And it's from Hack Day 2016. I'm not kidding you. I
nice.
am sitting in a 2016 hoodie
I love it.
from his company.
A high quality hoodie is gold, and I don't care what's on it, frankly. What brand or company, I will wear it. And when you're choosing swag, it's like go for the best
Hmm.
because people will wear it, they will treasure it. It's like an heirloom you're gonna pass down.
If it
I
is
was also
good, because if it's
if yeah,
bad,
if it's
walk
bad,
around your local Goodwill in a
exactly.
town where there's tech companies, and you will find all sorts of branded stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, crap swag is just has no place. There's no business. You have no business giving anyone crappy swag. So spend on the swag. And I feel like lately companies aren't giving out good swag anymore. And I personally haven't gotten a nice t-shirt from my company in a couple of years. And I feel a little bitter about it. But like literally half my wardrobe is swag and I wear it proudly because I'm like, I'm not buying these clothes. I'm like an influencer. Um, but I was thinking, you could have fun with some swag. And I personally think that we should be giving out like anti-aging products as swag. I was thinking the other day, like, everyone's getting older. We're all celebrating work anniversaries. And wouldn't it be nice to get a bottle of wrinkle cream or something, or like
Sure.
hair dye from my company as like part of my welcome gift or my
Yeah.
celebration of another work anniversary. I think it would be kind of cute, like tongue in cheek.
I like the options, or I like the types of gifts where they like let you select from a catalog. So at least
Yes.
that way there could be some anti-aging products in there and it wouldn't be like offensive maybe to some people.
I don't know. I think it would be so funny to be like, hey, welcome to this company. You're getting your water bottle, your sticker, your hoodie, and then also, yeah, here's some CBD supplements and some hair dye.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the young people would be confused, but maybe not with the CBD supplements. All
Um,
right. Well, today on the podcast, we have double the excitement. We have two guests joining us. We haven't had two guests joining us in a while, at least over a year, and I think that was the first time we've done it. But today it's a special episode because these are two partners from the UX research consultancy, Glow Insights. Our guests today are Jill and Amber. Jill worked at lynda.com, Facebook, and several others as a consultant, and Amber has been a researcher and manager at Facebook, Pampered Chef, and Sonos. And together they founded Glow, and Glow stands for Go Listen and Observe in the Wild, because companies do not spend enough time watching their customers use their products out in the wild, which is absolutely true. So, Jill and Amber, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Hi, thank
That
you.
was such a lovely introduction.
Well, your
Yeah, that's
careers
very
have
sweet.
been very lovely to have reported on, and very
Oh,
easy to write the intro. Um, so you two are now, those are some big names of places people have definitely heard of. Um, So you've chosen to go a different direction now. What's the reason for kind of moving out of big tech? Well, I mean, you're probably still working for big tech, but not inside, right? Not
Right.
in-house.
Right. Now we're on the outside. Oh gosh. Well, for me, it's been a few years. So I was solo consulting for like 4 years. And now having Amber, partnering up with Amber is sort of the new thing for me. Um, so it's like a little bit more fresh for Amber. But
Yeah.
I did have a moment where I was like, should I go back in-house? Like
Mm.
before Amber and I decided to partner up. And so all of the reasons that for going out and going independent kind of came back to me in this last year, because
Mm-hmm.
I did come close to wanting to go back in, but
Yeah. Well, what's the best reason to not have gone back in?
I think I really like getting like control over what projects I say yes to and I say no to.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that being really frustrating. I was, I had a lot of scope that I was responsible for in my in-house role, which meant I was allocated to like 4 different teams and expected to be like 100% on each team, even though they say like set expectations with everyone. If you can't give them 100% of yourself, it still felt like I couldn't like really give them what they needed. And they were like fine with it, but I just wanted to be able to go much deeper into my projects. And even if I would like push back and try to negotiate what was on my plate, it was either just really stressful or just I was unsuccessful at it. And I started kind of doing the math, like if I was like consulting, like I could be charging so much more for all these unlimited projects I'm doing for multiple teams. And so I was like, and I could just like free up my schedule. So
Yeah.
I want to hear more about this pushing back idea. This is not something I would say I'm a master of. Can you tell us what were the strategies that you used to push back at the time when you had to?
Just conversations like with my managers, with like the management team. Like I had been at the company for a long time, so I knew they trusted me. I had been on the manager side too, so I knew that like my opinion they would listen to me. But those conversations they were just frustrating. Like I would come home and just cry. I was like, how come I can't get anywhere with this? Like, I don't know if
so they wouldn't take no for an answer.
Right. Yeah. It was sort of like, oh, well, you're so senior and so tenured here. You should be able to handle this. Was the
Wow.
like, I mean, they didn't really
It sounds
say
like a recipe
no
for burnout.
I think I was really, yeah, burnout. I think one thing that's great about being on your own is you can kind of manage your burnout. At least I could a lot more.
And Amber, what are you excited about leaving behind?
Well, I sort of left and quit. It was very weird because I came back from maternity leave the week after the huge layoff at Facebook. And the culture sort of shifted overnight, if you will. And I was a manager, so I was coming in and handling a lot of the emotions of not just myself, but my peers and my team, and also the emotions of my children with me going back to work. And I went back fully ready to just take it all on and do it as if I did only still have 2 children, and having 3 children is like having 12 children. And I realized that sort of what Jill was speaking to, the high demand in big tech, combined with wanting to commit myself to my family and not have to sacrifice that, was a recipe for disaster, both like emotionally and like even career wise, like
Mhm.
something was going to have to give. And I just decided that I knew that working in big tech meant working lots and lots of hours, at least for me, to feel like I was being successful. And that's how I was successful. I did learn to balance my time by probably my third year there. But it was really challenging. And so I left, leaving behind my career and ready to put it on pause, to be honest, and say, like, you know, it's just not something I can do right now. And then Jill and I serendipitously were on maternity leave at the same time. And I just sort of continued my leave by leaving my big tech. And we were literally like bouncing our babies around in my living room. Like, can we do this full time? Like, can we like bounce around our babies? I know there's a lot more to motherhood. I've been doing it for a long time. And being a stay-at-home mom, but we hadn't worked together in so long, and like we were clicking already. It was like we were picking up where we had left off 10 years ago. And so it was less about like what I was leaving and more about what I was getting with the partnership with Jill and creating Glow.
I feel like sorry, Meg, I just feel like everything you're saying is hitting me so hard right now, because I am having these exact feelings, thinking like, how much more can I give before there's like nothing left? Or like, you know, how can I claw back more time for my family and myself and the hours, you know, and now the commutes. It's just wild. And I just think, oh my gosh, you know, am I on a trajectory to like, you know, to burn out? You know, am I burning myself out? And I gosh, like everything you're saying is just, it's like you're in my head right now, honestly.
I feel similarly too.
I will say, like, when I was pregnant, like, not to make this all about, you know, having babies and everything, but that was just my life for so long. I did scale back. Like, I did find success in scaling back, you know, for my own health and well-being. But it's really hard mentally to like do, because you feel like you almost have like FOMO of like what your potential could be if you put more time in. So I think it's such a hard thing to do. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to find the balance, in my opinion.
Yeah. And one thing that you said that really resonates with me is just how much emotional labor you're doing at your job. And I'm not even a, you know, people manager at this point. And when I wasn't managing a lot of people. But I still find myself kind of, I don't know if resentful is the right word, but resentful of the emotional labor I have to do for the teams I'm on and the projects that I'm trying to move forward, as opposed to, you know, simply just delivering assets or trying to meet deadlines or work with people. There just does seem to be a lot of this work, and I can't even imagine what that would be like coming back from the massive layoffs, dealing with all sorts of things that are happening with you know, your colleagues and the people who report to you. Just the amount of emotional labor that we do in our jobs is just over the top. And I agree, since becoming a parent, I want to do that work with my family. Like, I want to invest in them and my family here, but also my parents and things like that. And I don't want to do it at work anymore. And so it's definitely something that resonates with me too, what you folks are saying. And the other thing, Amber, that I thought was so interesting is that you and Jill feel like you kind of fell back into your rhythm from years ago. And what's so awesome to hear is that I got to work with you folks, or at least work around you folks when we all worked together back during that time. And like you two are absolutely dynamic together. And that's so awesome to hear that kind of, as you're in this new phase of your careers, that you're like finding that again. So you two founded this new business together. Is it cool to be the founder of something? Do you feel like this is something that's like kind of cool to have as a label now you're a founder, or is it like that you put so much work into it, it's like a label that you should have because of all the incredible amount of effort it took to get here?
Wow.
What do you think?
That's a really good question. It does feel good to feel like this is ours, and we're building it. It's all of our own, like we came up with the name, and that took a while to kind of figure out. And it's also scary too, like really putting ourselves out there, like with this thing that we made. Yeah.
I think what Meg was trying to ask is there room for a third co-founder in the mix?
Well, I guess we should point out that Jill and Amber are more on the research side of things. I don't think your plan was to offer any design. Although, hey man, we can always put on different hats.
Let's round out this company right now. I think you guys could use 2 more designers, and we'll be a powerhouse quad team.
Build our own studio here, like expand to additional
full service.
Yeah.
Let's get a couple female engineers, and I think we're done.
Oh yes.
We'd be ready to go.
I heard of this all women's retreat in like all women, not just the women that, or all women that attend there, but like the staff and everything in France, where I think you just go to like a valley and you eat cheese for a week. Anyway, I'm dreaming about that. But okay, so it sounds really great from the outside. Me and Jessamine are clearly
you guys just sit around and eat cheese, right? Talk, girl talk, right?
So what's been hard or humbling?
I mean, all of it is humbling. Every single step is humbling. Every decision is humbling. Like, we were working on a proposal until 11 o'clock last night, and writing down the pricing and deciding, how to go about that is humbling. Like, imposter syndrome. Like, oh my gosh, are we really worth this much?
You could add in that in your bill as a line item. My imposter syndrome fee, $95.
And even like placing the name co-founder, right? Like, I think what's so interesting about being on the other side of this, like, I feel like I've watched so many people become founders and start businesses on LinkedIn or even friends, and being behind the scenes and actually seeing the little moments that lead up to us launching a company that we're the co-founders of. Like, you don't necessarily feel that weight that Meg, you might see when you see, oh my gosh, Amber or you even say Amber and Jill are co-founders. So I think it's so interesting. Like, when we talked about this question of being co-founders, it's like these small moments that led up to it. That we need to take a step back and say, oh my gosh, we're co-founders. Like, that's so great. Like, all this work that led to it. This has been a work in progress since, when was our first play date, Jill? Like February?
Yeah.
January, maybe even. And we talked about it. And then I was starting to tell my friends and family, like, oh, I'm thinking of doing consulting. And then my brother called me. And he's like, oh, I have a client for you. And I was like, excuse me, what? And I called.
Whoa, that's
Jill,
amazing.
and I was like, I am not doing this alone. And Jill was literally on her computer applying to a job as like an HR coordinator for the local hospital.
Yeah.
Like
True
we
story.
were both
I
like,
was
this was
like,
not
this is
linear
when
by
I was
any means. Yeah.
like, should I
Did
go
your
back?
brother want a finder's fee?
No, he was happy to do it. Happy. Although sometimes he might have regrets later once it's wildly successful. but-
Exactly. Just don't share how much you're making. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
then there's been humbling moments when we've tried to like go and pitch ourselves, and we realize kind of the way we're talking about ourselves is not landing with the client, like, or potential client. Some good lessons there too.
Mhm.
I want to hear more about this because
Oh
as
yeah.
someone who's trying right now to like hustle a little bit, I have flamed out a few times. I would love to get some tips on selling oneself.
Okay, yeah. So we originally thought we would say like we're working with startups, because we want to work with smaller companies that wouldn't have otherwise have access to a researcher.
Mhm.
But the term startup can mean very different things
Mhm.
to depending on who you're talking to. So it could be like a one person, like a one shop, that like clearly doesn't have the money for hiring us. Or it could be like series B, C funded, or series B or series C funded, or they have lots of money and they're
Mhm.
really more of like a scale up where they're really trying to grow, like take what they've already built and grow. And when we pitched to one, it was a VC firm, a woman who, she invests in startups, and we thought, okay, this is perfect. We'll have tons of access to like all the companies that she's investing in. But it turns out like the company she's invested in are much smaller. Like they wouldn't be able to afford us.
Mm.
So yeah. So how we frame our who we work for and who we're targeting I think that was one of the first things we learned, kind of the hard way.
And like I've said this before on this podcast, but it always bums me out that the people who are like the startups, the little baby, couple people startups, like that a researcher is involved at that stage. It always bums me out. Like it's always like an
Yeah.
engineer and a product person getting
That's exactly
together.
right.
And then it is when the scaling up starts happening where they're like, oh, okay.
Then,
Who can we
oh,
sell
yeah.
to? What is this good for?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Jill has been pushing us to do like more advisory type work for those people.
Mhm.
It hasn't really taken off yet, but like I do think there is like a power in being equipped with the tools to do it yourself when it's like us, like we built a website. I
Yeah.
don't, like being able to do that as a startup, I think would be really helpful. So I think one of our goals long term is to get the word out for startups to
Mhm.
understand how much power there would be in doing research early on, just
Mhm.
because it is hard. And it's like now we've become a startup, right? So we probably have more empathy for startups than we did 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like you really are so scrappy and just trying to make it happen. And extra people and extra services and extra employees sound like such a luxury. And so we're just trying to find ways to help those startups in more like peripheral efforts.
Yeah.
I
Makes
mean,
sense.
to me, it seems like you could just use the power of horror stories of, saying, hey, imagine this scenario. You spent 6 months building something and dozens of, engineers and people's time and blood, sweat, and tears went into it. And then now it makes $20 a month on your balance sheet. And what went wrong, and
Yeah.
try to give them that nightmare in advance so that they can avoid it. Like, because so many people are convinced that this idea is going to work, it's going to sell, it's going to fly. And they're not willing to listen to the naysayers or the feedback or whatever. and they kind of pride themselves on like, hey, we're just going to push forward with this, it's going to make it kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
one thing I think we've learned in consulting, at least for now, at least for the phase, and Jill, please elaborate on this so that it's said eloquently and not in offense to anybody, is like, I think when you're first starting in consulting, there's been a great gal that we've been listening to on YouTube and podcasts, Daya. We can send it out to you, Meg, if you want to put it in the notes, who's been really helping us focus on where to start and who to start with. And it really is a great practice for even thinking about it from our perspective and then applying that to our clients as well, which is you don't necessarily want to start with the group that you're convincing that there is a problem that we're here to solve. You really want to start with the people that it's the right time, it's the right place, and they need your services. And we felt this, when you're on the inside of a company, one of the biggest changes I think for us, when we're on the inside of Facebook or Sonos, you're part of the effort of the UX effort. You're the champion, and you're pushing against, people's ideas of how they were approaching problem solving to be more user-centered. And consulting, you're sort of you need that to be a little bit a part of the culture of at least the team you're working with. Because you're not on the inside to necessarily make that shift. That's a longer game for you as a firm to make a shift in the startup world to be more user-centered. But in the shorter term, for getting new clients, you really have to think about it from the market perspective of customers.
That's really fascinating, because I remember people coming in and doing kind of these big strategy projects, outside companies, doing big strategy projects and delivering them, and then a couple of months later it'd be did anybody even remember that they did this? Because they're gone, right? You have to have that champion company for that work to be meaningful. Well, I want to get to one of our listener questions, but before we do that, I wanted to kind of return to this question of parenthood, and how your work day, you had a great moment bouncing your babies on your laps and coming up with this idea. And I think it's awesome that between all four of us here, we have 8 kids total between us that we're each individually parenting. So what's it been like for you to have had a UX career with little babies at home, and how's your work day changed now that you're doing consulting?
Go ahead, Jill.
Well, I feel like I'm so new to having a baby. Well, I guess he's 15 months now. And gosh, I love having the ability to have a flexible schedule and get to go downstairs where our babysitter is and get to give him a hug. And I think I appreciate that flexibility. I think it will be harder when he's, going away to school one day and I have to I don't know, say goodbye, but I'm still so I don't know, attached to him. And but I think it might be very different.
Let me paint a picture for you, Jill. Okay. Imagine yourself, you wake up and you leave, right? And your kid gets themselves ready, walks down the street and catches their school bus alone, and you don't even interact with them at all.
Oh my gosh.
And Jessamine, are you saying this as
that was
my
my morning? I'm gosh, sad? I hope she got on the bus okay. I'm sure she looked great. I'm sure she brushed her teeth, and I just basically texted a neighbor and I was like, did she get on that bus okay? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, good. Thank God.
Good. Yeah. I want to get to this point where I'm he's independent. He's on his own, yeah.
He's thumbing rides from cars passing by.
When Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard, but I have to I'm like, I don't want him to ever leave my house. Like he's not going to college. He's staying home.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because I'm like, can these kids grow up just a little bit faster, please?
How about you, Amber? Where are you on the scale?
I mean, just listening to you guys talk about it, like it's such an ebb and a flow. So I've had kids now for only 6 years, but I've had 3 of them in that period. And it's such an ebb and flow for the balance. Like when I was at Facebook, like we all worked from home. And so I had that like connection with them because I was at home.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's less about me and more about what I've learned through all my jobs and having 3 kids, and that just being different with each one, because it's just more with each one, obviously, is like push for what you want in your career. Because when I was at Pampered Chef, I came back from maternity leave and said, I will stay here if I can only work 30 hours a week, because I don't feel like I can do it 40 hours and be away from my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's how I remember my colleague said, I feel guilty that I don't feel that way. So it's like different for everybody and different for everybody's stage of life. But I think as parents, we really have to push the workplace a little bit to give us the balance that we need for the long term, for our mental health, for what we feel like our kids need. And I think that's what really drove me to where I am today. With Jill, we are doing we're sharing this job together. We're not both working 40, 50 hours a week.
Right.
We're giving each other balance because that's what we need right now for ourselves. So that is just my thought when I think back, because I have so many things to say about it because it's been so different for the last 6 years. But those are kind of my thoughts on it. But Meg, I would love to hear from you too.
I'm so fortunate that like Jill, I can, and then like some families who are, or some people who are working remotely and their kids are around. I get to go downstairs and hug my kid, which is a big perk and a big bonus, for me too. So I definitely love that. Don't love it so much when he's like crying. Wish I had bought a bigger house, so that I'm not working right next to his crib.
I was going to say the same for me.
Yeah. I would have done things a little bit differently pre-pandemic if I had known I would be working remotely and my kid would be quote unquote napping near my workstation.
Where the term up in this crib literally means we're up in a crib.
Oh my God, yes. All right. So real quickly, we'll get your thoughts on this listener question we have. So this person that has a job, but they want a remote friendly job because there are lots of return to the office motions going on. So I would love to be contacted by recruiters to help me get in the door, but I'm not sure if I should flip the switch on my LinkedIn profile to that banner open to work, or if that will look bad if my coworkers or boss, or it says actually, or worse, my boss saw it. So should I badge myself or try to keep my job search under wraps? Jill, Amber, what do you folks think? What would you do?
I don't think I would badge before. I think I would want to have a conversation with my manager, maybe give them a heads up, but then I don't know what the relationship is like with their manager. It would just come as such a surprise, I think, to everyone. I think I would keep my job search under wraps, until I have news, to announce.
Yeah.
It's such a bummer though, because it helps so much to say that you're, open to work and your network can help you.
Yeah.
I do think in this climate that there's a lot of people that are open to work right now. So I don't know. I'm not in the job market, so I can't speak to it directly right now because it's just a very unique job market. But I don't know how much value it would actually bring to you to be open to work. Because there's like,
So many
I
people
think
are
that
looking.
people who are finding jobs are being very active about finding them. I don't think they're finding them by recruiters reaching out to them like they did a year ago.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think the risk would be worth the reward.
Mhm.
With the remote work aspect, you know, finding remote jobs is just like a specific thing you have to look for on LinkedIn. And I don't think there's any harm in reaching out to your network and letting them know, you know, through private messages and things like that, especially if they're at a place that looks interesting to you. But I actually don't think this person should feel like they're missing out on a lot by not publicly posting to LinkedIn. Just because when I look at my LinkedIn, there's more people who are open to work actively posting to LinkedIn than not open to work.
Yeah, I agree with you because part of my thought was like, if you did it, like, what's the worst that could happen? And it kind of feels like to now it doesn't mean quite as much, maybe. So like putting it up is less, like doesn't get you as much benefit, but it also might be on the other hand, like it might be like, oh, well, you know, maybe your boss is like, well, everybody is looking for work, you know, right now. And you know, like maybe they just, you know, want to see what's out there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Jessamine,
I'm just thinking like, I know some people have this skill of cold calling and, you know, they know how to approach somebody that they don't necessarily have like a tight connection with, but they manage to say like, hey, this is me. This is what I want, you know, can you help me or are you interested? Do you guys have any advice for somebody who, let's say that this person doesn't want to flip that switch and, you know, share open to work on their profile, but they are interested in reaching out. Like if they did reach out to somebody, what should they say in a quick, you know, chat message or whatever?
I mean, I've been having people reach out to me that are pretty distant in my network. They've actually been asking to like get on a call, and I have done it when I can. And it's something along the lines of like, hey, you know, I am looking for new opportunities. It looks like you're connected with so-and-so and so-and-so, or it looks like you've worked at this place or this place. Like, would you be willing to like chat with me about that? So just finding what you guys have in common has been what people have been doing with me. And it doesn't feel intrusive at all, even though I haven't talked to them in like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Getting a lot of people coming out of the woodwork from years ago. So Jill and Amber, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing this particular take on what the UX career could be like if you go off and found your own company. Is that the right word? If you establish your own company and become founders. This has been super interesting, and as we said, resonated with both me and Jessamine from a work and family perspective. So thank you so much for being here. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This was awesome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us on Surviving UX. If you need advice or just sympathy for your UX career, write to us at survivingux@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Surviving UX is hosted and edited by Jessamine Edwards and Meg Kramer. Our theme music is, among other things, the on-hold music for Cisco Phones, Opus No. 1, by Tim Carlton and Derek Deal. See you next time!